Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless, and today we've cooked up an amazing spooky Halloween special for you guys. I'm so excited for this one. It's going to be such a cool reveal. I'm going to take you through one of our heroes, probably the scariest one yet, work you through some of the research we did, some of the mood boarding, the 2D, then the iteration on that, then the 3D modeling, take you right the way up to animations and VFX in-game of this Norse awesome hero. Man, this one I've been waiting to show you guys for a while, and I've got to call it out. Ragewood, who does content on Godforge already, spotted this like a couple weeks back. I'm like, the guy's basically a detective at this point, and in one of his videos he was like, I bet this is going to be a Halloween special, and I'm like, damn, that's exactly what it's going to be, which is kind of funny. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Hel from Norse mythology. So the ruler of the underworld in Norse. Such a cool character. So many like cool takes on Hel over the years. But we've got our own one. And honestly, our top work. I'd say it's literally our top work so far. So really, really impressed with it. A lot of you will probably think of Hel or Hela as the kind of like Marvel character. You know, Odin's daughter, that type of stuff. Not quite right, actually. So Hel is the queen of Helheim, which is actually the underworld in Norse mythology. Interestingly, if Vikings didn't die in battle and they died in a dishonorable way or a cowardly way, i.e. they died of old age, they would go to Hel. And Hel was equally named. She was a daughter of Loki, the trickster, and basically she ruled there. Odin sent her down to Hel to rule. So yeah, pretty cool actually. The mythology of it is super fun. I was reading through it and I learned a bunch of stuff because I also just kind of watch Marvel films. But yeah, she is, I just want to go into a description here because it's definitely part of the take that we've got on what she would look like. Yeah, so here we go. So her appearance is described as being half flesh covered, just like a living human being, and half blue. Her personality traits are described as threatening, harsh, and cruel. Right, let's get on to some of the mood boarding we did then. So generally here, what Esther does is she looks at general styles, visual kind of cues, things that we want to try and call out. And I like what Esther's doing here. So she's looking at different fashion, different inspirations. She's looking at kind of like posing, that type of stuff. And yeah, she's kind of like called out 1, 2, 3 on this board. Immersive specific areas where you can see glowing veins or skeleton hints on 1 here. 2, half rotten body, so you can see the kind of like the rotten side of this character. Not sure what this is from actually. And then 3, an exoskeleton in the form of armor, which she can kind of call out on this arm, but still lots of cool kind of takes here. And then we've got a second mood board where this is more just looking at dark witches, sorceresses, necromancer type of a board really. So again, lots of just cool images of how do you create that fear on a hero or a character, you know, artistically. So some really, really nice touches here. And again, just some inspiration points for Esther before she starts to do her a kind of like general feel. She's then looked at Hel specifically and different takes on Hel in different games or film or, you know, comics, that type of stuff. Hel appearances as is described as half blue and half flesh covered, and further as having a gloomy downcast appearance. So again, there's just kind of some really cool takes here. There's kind of like skeletal view in the top left. It's almost like half, almost like, who's the female Wolverine? Can't remember, but anyway, really, really cool take here on the right. Yeah, some really nice visual cues. So we get to the point where we get our first set of 2D concepts. So I guess the first kind of mini reveal of the direction we were going with on our version of Hel, and very like sorceress, I guess skeletal or kind of this kind of like different vibe on the left hand side of her, but with 3 different iterations that we could start to talk about and get excited about, honestly. And what's cool here is we then have this kind of like feedback session back and forth between artists, myself, Dane comes in, the people really that start to support Esther and the different team which do these different concepts in for us. So I said here at this point, these are cool. I like the idea of her face having this kind of like half and half effect, But I'd like to go a bit scarier on Hell. And, you know, I dropped a couple of references. So this was a reference which I dropped in. Esther then kind of came up with a fourth iteration where now we've got this almost like roots coming through, more kind of like ghostly, almost like a little bit more deformed, but still using the same kind of like base meshes. Dane then pipes up and he's like, right, nice work but for this legendary, and it is important that it's a legendary, but we do try and push the boat when we're going higher rarities. I think we need to take a moment and really ramp up the type of details and play with the silhouette. And then what Dane tends to do is some overdraw work. So he then dropped a couple more references in. It was like, bam, this one from Valhalla Kings, this one here as well, just from kind of like Googling different versions. And Dane basically comes in with this one, where he's done an overdraw. So he takes the final piece that Esther has done, and he's like, right, can we really ramp up different elements? And what he'll do is he'll literally break down the different pieces that he's looking to adapt or change, and he'll just do like a call out to different areas of it. So Dane's line drawing is immense, by the way. He's like so good at this in terms of knowing proportion, knowing visual cues. It's really, really good. Like it's amazing to see when he does this type of visual cue to support the concept team. And it really is like this kind of like 50-50 approach to trying to create something great, honestly. So I'm just going to take you through some of the notes that Dane made here. So it's basically like number one, on the boots, we can use these leggings and instep armor. 2, the hood and twisted root branch. So this kind of like area around here. We want to take it even further. And at the moment, it's kind of like too understated. We want it to be much bigger and wrap even more. Number 3, which is kind of like the colorings and the stuff around her face. These green areas are basically the undead half from your designs. We want to push this even further. A fully spectral translucent half with the skeleton shown through. I've moved some costume elements to cover up the seams, but we want to take the opportunity to make her a really spooky lady. Then we've got number 4, which is kind of referencing her arms and stuff. We can keep this sleeve shape, but maybe exaggerate it more. Number 5, to integrate her weapon, we could put similar underworld crystals from like this onto her form, so onto her arm and her kind of like almost like crystal root thing that's coming out here. And then 6, let's make sure that we've got a cool cape going on rather than just like a straight down cape. So a number of different kind of reference points here to try and help Esther kind of get to that final piece. So we then get to our final 2D concept, and phenomenal work, honestly. So really great work. We get the full body shot here with the kind of now visual. You can see the bones kind of like coming through. You've got the root now, as Dane kind of drawed it, with these almost like crystals coming out the other end. This kind of like real cool bodysuit going on. And then we've got a nice back view with almost like a flowing style cape. I really like the color scheme as well. It works so well. Very, very cool. And you've still got this kind of like nice Norse style visual when you do the close up as well on, you know, the top of her, what do you call it? Like hood, top of her hood. And you just see the kind of like hair braid coming down. Really, really cool visual. So let's jump into 3D. So I'm going to take you through some steps here. We've got day 2 of the block out. So what the artists tend to do, they get the general forms in. This is Walter, who is an absolute god when it comes to anything 3D design. Honestly, this guy is unreal. So on day 2, you're already getting like the main shapes of her armor, her cape, you know, the general form coming in. Day 3, he starts to go in and do some face work. And all the time, we're kind of, not all the time, every few days, we give a bit of feedback around general shape and stuff if we need to. But this one was going on really well. And obviously, you can see that at the moment, it's a fully human kind of look. We're then getting to day 10, where Walter's really like working on the armor specifically. And, you know, some of the kind of the torso detailing. Day 11, he does work on the neck. This is where Walter works. Not everyone does it in this way, by the way, but Walter would just take piece by piece and like perfect that whilst he's doing his work. So it's a very, very cool way to see it, because you see all of the individual pieces being done. You can see this kind of like work on the arm here, and this almost definitely feel to it. We get to day 15, and he starts to do work on the face. Oh, so good. The work is so good. So you start to get this kind of rotten side of the face with the glowing eye, and hell starts to be born, honestly. And when you then put the other pieces on, we're really getting a great visual, a great feel from the 3D. Got the decayed arm here, a bit of extra work on day 16, where he's really kind of like ramped up the visual on the arm. And then we get to the high poly final, which is all of the work done from a sculpting point of view. It's not all the textures yet. It's all of the work from a sculpting. You can see the whole right-hand side of her body has got this kind of like decayed feel. You've got the normal side of her body, the human side, on her left-hand side. So we then get to a kind of reveal. This is when the hero is baked down. So what does that mean? So you take a high poly, which is a lot of polygons, you bake it down so that then you can retexture the model, and it will then work well on things like mobile, right? So this is like a look at a bake, which is one of the different elements we go through. He then starts to do the texturing work. So what does that mean? It's bringing in the sort of colors we'd actually want to see in game, and you can really get a feel now for the visual quality of hell, looking absolutely insane in this visual, and Walter absolutely knocking it out the park on the visual. So this is before we're in game, and we start to get the 3D now turntable for her as a finished model with the textures done. So good. It's actually so good. I love this one. It's so brilliant. And then we get a close up on the face again, the turntable. Look at the work. It's really cool. Absolutely top quality work. And this is before we add any VFX and stuff. So, you know, we're really starting to get into a place now where, you know, we can see everything going on. The weapon's also sculpted in the same way, and we want the weaponry to feel like it belongs to that person, you know, that character. So we get the weapon there, and I guess let's go into engine and start to look at the final reveal. So we then, once we've got our 3D model, we need to move on to animation, and we need to move on to obviously things like visual effects. Now what we've done here, I'm just showing you some of the different work that we do along the way. So here is just some block out animation that Brandon from the team does. So he's kind of like giving us initial feels for what an idle breaker might look like, what an idol might look like, and then we give feedback to him. So Brandon's done a couple here. This is just like a block out feel of it. Look at the fingers, just kind of like pulsing. Really, really cool. Very, very cool. So you can just kind of get a feel of what some of the animations will look like. So before the big reveal, I just want to show you some of the work we've done on rigging quickly. What we've actually got is way improved rigs. Like the rigs now are so much better than they were before, which means we've got like more flexibility in what we can do with the models. And here's a nice little demo here from Damon. Let's just get a dance in. But you can see some of the work that's been done in different areas of the rig without causing too much like pain for devices. And this is the thing, like there's only so much you can do to make mobile run smoothly for kind of like different level of devices, but we just wanted to add some different elements to our rigs. So we've now got some of the kind of eye movement possible. We've got mouth movement possible. You can see the finger flexing is possible. Like there's a whole bunch of extra things we've added, which just means that we can give more character to the heroes that we're creating. Okay, so let's bring it all together. Let's have a look in engine, in game. We've got the portrait here on the left-hand side, which is looking cool, which is very, very telling of Hell from what we've seen so far. And then we get the in-game with some visual effects going off on the eye and the weapon, and we just get like kind of like a little flourish here for her idle break. Obviously, we still got to work through all of her ability animations and that type of stuff, but so good. Such a cool like release for Halloween. So enjoy your Halloween, and we will see you in the next one.